We knew this flight day is going to be a very emotional day. It's emotional to get to Hawaii, but also emotional because we're leaving our RV and we've never done that.
You gonna miss the RV?
Someone has taken our bag. Run! Run and go find our bag.
Boom.
We're Marissa, Nathan, Hensley, and JJ. We sold our house in 2015 and moved into an RV full-time to live a life of less junk, more journey. Life is a journey. Let go and get going.
So what's up, fellow journeyers? So leaving for Hawaii is exciting for us and yet scary for us. Because on one hand, you've got this 50th state, never been there, super pumped to go. But on the other hand, you've got honestly just scared because we're used to having our RV and everything with our RV. Because although we might seem like these crazy adventurous travelers, and we do go places, the RV is nice because you've got the same bed, you got the same amenities, but everything is right there.
We are leaving the RV, saying goodbye for like 9 weeks, which is by far the longest we have ever. I mean, not even close. I think the record before that was maybe like 2 nights without our RV. This is all new territory for us. Doing one last walkthrough, one last inspection. Got to get all the slides in, got to get everything locked up. Man, this is crazy.
So we brought the slides in part of the way last night just to make sure everything was working out. That's the last thing I need is like a slide malfunction, like, the morning we're leaving. Get everything turned off. Finishing up with the bag stuff. We were about ready to roll. Are you excited? Are you ready for Hawaii? Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this Hawaii dress. Did you pick that out?
Yeah.
It's gonna be your travel Hawaii attire? So you got a pedicure yesterday, right? Daddy did not. He really needs one. What color should I do?
Maybe shiny black.
Maybe shiny black. That actually would be good. Marissa slept like 2 hours, so.
It was not a good night of sleep. Hensley was coming in our room last night too, like it was Christmas, so.
Hey, what's in this cup right here, Marissa, be honest?
Kombucha.
I don't even know what that is. Okay.
Like a fermented tea for your stomach.
Turning on all the auto fans. Let's go. You ready, Hensley?
Yeah.
You ready, buddy? You're crazy looking, okay.
I know, sweetie. I'm gonna miss it too. You gonna miss the RV?
We'll see him soon.
We knew this flight day is going to be a very emotional day on lots of levels. Emotional to get to Hawaii, but also emotional because we're leaving our RV and we've never done that. So right off the bat, leaving the RV for the airport, we have to get the kids up earlier than usual. What, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that?
But then at the same time, we're transitioning them to the new time zone.
Marissa freaks out even like 1 time zone or definitely 2 for RVing. So
I hate daylight savings time. I get really stressed out about time changes.
2 weeks before we're doing the time change, she's like, do we need to start getting up earlier, Nathan? I'm like, no, like you just do
Get
the time.
up later.
Whichever it is. Because like, I get confused by all that. I don't know if you guys do. But like, so Hawaii is a whole other level of that. So right off the bat, the kids are getting up earlier. They're already kind of tired. It's going to be a long day. Even if it's a good day, it's going to be a long day.
And kids have spotty senses. They know when when it's like we really need a good day today, and they're like, nah, I'm gonna be a kid today.
We have multiple legs of us getting from where our RV is at to Hawaii. All right, the first leg is an hour and a half-ish drive from our home base to Nashville, which is the international airport that we're launching out of.
You're just being mean. We're super nervous for this first flight because I think that's going to be like a telltale sign of how the rest of the trip's going to go.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been on a flight and like somebody brings their kid in and they're just screaming and clawing and they're just scared of the plane. You just don't know. I guess you could maybe build a plane and simulate that somehow. I'm not sure. But so we have the hour and a half ride to the airport. We have this first flight. It's 3 hours-ish from Nashville to Denver. We're actually making really good time. It's better than being late. Gate A7 is where we're heading. What have we learned so far? I think I've already learned this is going to be a good idea. There's going to be times we're moving fast and like times he just needs to relax a little bit. And honestly, woke up early today. There's going to be times he just might want to sleep. And so that's just way easier with that. Also learned we saved
don't know, 30, 45 minutes. We didn't have to check in. We just walked right in, went to security, put our stuff through security, and came in. So it saved us time without having to check in bags and all that. They're pretty impressed with security. We told them we're going to Hawaii, and that's all our stuff. So
I think, for over 2 months in Hawaii, and this is all we got with us.
yeah. This is everything. There's my bag, Hensley and JJ's bag, camera bag. That's sort of like the family bag there. And then there's Marissa's.
Zipped.
What did one jet say to another when it wasn't fancy?
What's that?
Your plane.
Are you ready to ride on an airplane? Are you ready for an airplane?
Yes.
Are you? All right, Hensley, you excited? But you're nervous too, right? It's kind of scary, but it's gonna be so fun. So me and Hensley are over here. Marissa and JJ, hey buddy.
It's like a Toy Story. First flight.
JJ's pretty good as far as some kids when they get tired, they just start doing bloody murder screams, which we heard on the planes.
Yeah.
But JJ, when he gets tired, he just kind of squawks and moves around and kind of like, he just kind of gets
sassy.
More, yeah, he gets sassy. That's the right word. So he was sassy the whole flight, but then literally like as we're landing, pretty much they make the announcement for the seatbelts and we're starting to go down. He fell asleep. So he falls asleep first flight, pretty much as the plane is landing, and he is in a deep sleep. We think the landing's gonna wake him up, or maybe the rustle and bustle of everybody getting off, and so we're the last ones off of this plane, because I'm already thinking logistics. If he's awake, it's gonna be hard to get all our stuff off this plane. With him asleep, like that's a whole sack of potatoes. We're not getting any help with him walking or anything. That's a whole other sack of potatoes we have to have. So Marissa's like, let's just see if we can transfer him. And I'm thinking, you're crazy. This kid's huge. We got this tiny aisle. How are we going to transfer him in this seat? But we do it.
Nathan takes one end of the car seat. I take the other end of the car seat. We have our bags on our back, and we've got Hensley, and we're getting out of this plane.
Picture this mess. This is, yeah.
Denver is significantly crazier than Nashville was. It's hard to even find a table. We did not time the sleep thing right. So now he's napping in the airport when he needs to be eating. We goofed on the
around right now.
Yeah, we want to be running around right now, not just sitting in his seat. We can do that later. So we may have to wake him up here in a second. JJ, you want a French fry? That's exactly how I'd act too, buddy. No shame in that. I'm trying to make him take a short nap now because he needs to sleep on that 8-hour flight. Like if he's awake for 8 hours, it will get bad. Well, there it is. I'm just gonna put it in your hand. No. Oh, and we bought all this Chick-fil-A. We didn't know what to do with it, so I guess it's sitting in the car seat. I don't know what the plan is with this. I just don't know.
Our long flight coming up does not offer food. There's no food, not a meal. So we had to make sure we had a meal because, we would be arriving late.
Maybe 20 minutes before our flight's supposed to leave, we're like, okay, we have got to get over there and start boarding. So we head over there, and turns out we didn't realize it. This is when you're supposed to go through the secondary screening where you show them that you've been COVID tested, because this is the one that's leaving and landing in Hawaii.
If you're flying into Hawaii, you have to have a negative COVID test, and you have to fill out a health questionnaire and upload your results and get a QR code. You show them your QR code, and they give you a band saying that you're allowed to travel into Hawaii. So here we are, the flight is already boarding, and we're trying to get our QR code and our band saying we're all good to travel.
So first flight, we're almost dead last on the flight. Intentionally, our seats are assigned, and we just debated, is it better to be first on the flight and have the kids have to sit longer, or just be last? We said, let's just be last, which is good because you get to be last. The kids aren't sitting, but it's bad because your bags, I had to randomly put them 6 bins up front, so getting stuff out of that was a real pain if we needed something during the flight. Second flight, it wasn't really even by choice. It was we were the last ones on this flight, on the second flight to Honolulu, and that was because we were cutting it close.
We made it through.
Man.
Look at all this stuff. Home stretch, Jess.
While we're on the plane, they make an announcement and say, if anybody is medical personnel, we would need some help, let us know. And I kind of looked.
I saw Marissa looking around like, okay, the doctor can stand up anytime now.
Somebody else, anybody medical personnel?
Pediatric.
Not one person raised their hand. And I thought, oh no.
It's a pretty big plane.
Yeah. What are the chances, right? Because there was a flight that just took off into Hawaii last week, and a lady didn't know she was pregnant and delivered a baby on the plane, and I was so jealous. I wanted to be. There was 3 nurses on that plane, and I would have loved to have been the nurse on
Wouldn't that
plane.
have been a crazy?
Yeah. So they're like, any medical personnel, and I'm like, oh, what if I get to deliver a baby? But but nobody raised their hand, and so I ended up telling them that I was an RN and I would love to help them if they needed any help. So I helped triage a child and help with that situation, and I feel like everything from then on, they were so kind and nice, and that just really...
And they were being kind.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're kind on this flight
absolutely.
anyways. But yeah,
but I feel like after that, they personally knew my name. We were talking with the flight attendants, and they were always asking if we needed anything or how they could help. I just think after that situation, it was definitely like... kind of like it broke the ice, and then we developed this relationship with the flight attendants, and we had a wonderful flight the rest of the time. And the kid was great. The kid is doing well.
That's the most important part of the story. And I think the lesson learned there is, I think, and I don't know the backstory on the videos you see online with people on flights and stuff like that, but like, I think if you're super kind, super respectful, and not, you're treating people with the same respect you would hope to have. And people have a bad day, and there probably are some people who are just mean people. But I think for the most part, from what we experienced on both flights, we were respectful. They could tell we were doing the best we could. We showed you guys in our last video how we didn't just show up. We had tried with JJ, and I think he could have worn his mask.
He's doing better. He's
doing better. But like they were super friendly with us, and we respected what they were doing, because that's a tough job. And let's just be honest, this is tough for everybody. It's not just us. It's tough for those flight attendants. They don't enjoy going around asking people to put their mask on. And so we're on this flight as well. About that midway point, about 4 hours in, and you can kind of see it all over the flight. You start to kind of hear the kids getting a little more restless. You start to see people walking back and forth in the aisles with their kids, just trying to like do something different.
Again, their spotty senses are kicking in. They're like, it's getting close.
And I'm thinking, man, there's still 4 hours to go, and our kids are the same way. Hensley's like kind of over it, so we're having to get creative too. JJ's getting his sass level is just getting higher and higher. We're like, just go to sleep, JJ. But you're going through all this in this long flight, and it's made totally worth it when the plane starts to bank or whatever to get into the airport, and you're coming to the side and you can see Hawaii in the distance, because you've been over this water what feels like for days.
It's like you finally made it, and just all these hoops and all this preparation is like so worth it in this moment when you see this incredible island that we're about to land on.
So we're banking, we see Hawaii, we see Honolulu. They're announcing, I think maybe they've announced it a little bit earlier that we're about to land, and I look over and JJ's asleep.
JJ's been fighting his nap all day. We land in 30 minutes, and there he goes.
To Honolulu, local time here is approximately 5:10 p.m. You're in Hawaii. Please refrain from plugging your device.
Like he's out cold again. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So we have figured out landings put JJ out.
Apparently, yeah. I don't know how he knows. I don't know if it's a seat buckle sign or the pilot's voice.
It's the spotty senses.
I don't know.
The kid's spotty senses is like, and we're here.
The landing wakes him up. So, when you land and it jerks, and it kind of pulled him back a little bit. And he woke up and was startled, and I would be too. And that's when he instinctively went to the death-hurling screams. So he'd been good. He'd been sassy and yet semi-quiet both these flights, even though he's been tired all day. But that was it. That was the break. That was him saying, I'm done, and I'm going to let you know I'm done. He lets out this blood-hurling scream and basically does not stop until
we get off the plane.
And it's been a long day. We put all of our carry-on bags, if you remember, because we're last on the plane again. They're in like different bays. And so I get out everything except for our roller bag, which is black. It's the same size as everybody else's. And it's the one I was honestly most afraid of somebody accidentally grabbing.
And we didn't have it labeled.
And we didn't have it labeled. Yeah, another pro tip.
Label your luggage.
And I look in the bay where I really thought I put it in, and it's not in there. And everybody's at this point, everybody's almost off the plane. I'm kind of freaking out. I'm like, well, what do I even do? I mean, there's nothing. Are they going to go all the way to where they're at in Hawaii and just take my bag with them?
Nathan's calling me. So I've got JJ in my arm.
Yeah, she's
Hensley off the plane, all the luggage, waiting on Nathan. He's like, someone has taken our bag. Run and go find our bag. Go to baggage claim. I'm like, I can't go with baggage claim with these kids in my arms. And
because most everybody's going to go get it, except for us.
Yeah.
Is going to go get their check-in bag. So we could have found the bag at check-in. So I'm like, Marissa, rush down there. It's like, no way. So here I can't get off the plane because I'm still talking to people. And once I get off, I can't get everything else off. Mm-hmm. So if you picture Marissa's off the plane holding JJ, Hensley's standing there, I think just holding her hand. I've got all the other luggage I still have to get off. So I'm kind of making multiple trips and sitting at the edge because I can't come off the plane. I'm talking to him about what to do about my luggage. And then here comes one of the flight attendants rolling it up, says, is this your bag? I'm like,
oh. Yeah,
that's my bag. I don't know, and sometimes I don't think it got moved. I want to say somebody moved it, but I probably just put it in another bay and didn't realize it. It wasn't in the bay that I thought it was in, which happens. I mean, it happens. It's been a long day. Once we arrive in Hawaii, we have one more drive, about 30, 45 minutes to get to our Airbnb from the airport. And we're actually doing pretty much this whole trip with a family, and they're already in Hawaii, so they're coming to pick us up, basically, in the car. So we're waiting at the terminal, exhausted, and yet still super pumped to be in Hawaii. Okay, so it looks and feels and actually is 5:30 here. But to us, our bodies don't know what's going on because to us it's like 10:30. It's a 5-hour difference in Hawaii. Right, Hensley? Did you realize it's like 10:30 right now?
Really?
You think it would be better or worse today than you thought it would?
I think it was better than I expected, but the ending was definitely a grand finale.
We made it.
I don't know why it just hit me that we made it. We're so exhausted, but so excited.
If you've wondered this video, where are we at? What's behind us? We are at our Airbnb. Wild day, but totally worth it to be in Hawaii.
We are pumped. We have some incredible stuff planned to show you guys here. And we're just so excited to have made it to our 50th state. It's incredible.
It is. It's our wild 17-hour day from Tennessee to Hawaii with 4 kids.
We have 2 kids.
I don't even, I'm still acclimated.
It felt like 4 kids.
It felt like 4 kids. My goodness. With our family.
Don't tell me we have 2 more kids coming.
We don't. I don't think we do.
You're not surprising me this video, are you?
No. We're good. No more plans for more kids. This was enough adventure as it was. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later.